Wow. Okay. So that sucks. I'm hopeful you guys can hear and see me now. I'm gonna give the chat a second here on the side to see if that's the case. Uh, do, do, do. Gonna see if anyone puts in the side chat that they can hear and see me now. I'm assuming they can because I'm up on the big screen now. I didn't even realize I wasn't up on the big screen. So, yep, okay, I'm good now. Well, shit, I've only been going on for about 16 minutes or so in the back room talking to myself. So, yay, this chat's gonna rock. Um, anyways, so what's up, everybody? Guess I can start. I guess I can start from the ground zero again. Um, ah, shit. Well, yay, fitness and wellness and health chat. Only a little bit late. Anywho, decided to start this up because a couple weeks ago some people had asked me to do a chat. Um, and yeah, I mean, heavy hit out of the park. It's growing pains, so it's going to be one of those cases where as I figure out how to play around with StreamYard and stuff like that and figure out how to get it to work properly, the chats will get better. It's just a process as I figure out how to actually run this stuff. Um, but yeah, so decided to do this health and fitness chat because a couple weeks ago some people had asked me to. I figured this was going to be a great way to do it just because people could come in, throw in their questions in the chat. I and then on top of that, people can come back and watch this, uh, add additional questions I can address either later on or at the time. And if people have more personal questions, they can definitely reach out to me, words, on a one-to-one basis, and I can give them some advice or tips there. Um, I mean, Heavy lived with me for so long, so he already knows my background. But little bit of background for those of you that don't know me that well, even though I feel like most of the people that watch my channel or follow my channel know me from Matt's chats or Honda's chats, or it's pretty much the only two people's chats I'm typically on a regular basis. But anyhow, um, yeah, so my background, I am not a certified, again, transparency off the bat, I'm not a certified personal trainer. I'm not a certified nutrition coach. I didn't go to school for this stuff. Um, So, yeah, there's that background. What I do have from a background is I spent several years in the supplement industry and the fitness industry. Um, I've been around supplements and fitness and gyms and such like that since I was 15, maybe 14, something like that. And I'm 33 now, I think, about that. Um, so yeah, so I have several years worth of experience just being around that industry. Um, and then I am partnered for the last 4 years. I have been partnered with a fitness and supplement company, um, where this is our job is to, help people create better versions of themselves. So it's kind of where my background comes into. My history is, again, like growing up, was a chonky kid. Um, I loved and still do love food. Definitely have a food addiction that is a struggle to say the least. But back in like late 2017, early 2018, just decided that I needed to make a change for my life. Ironically, it was about 6 months later that I signed on with this fitness company and everything. But yeah, 2018 kickstarted my fitness journey for the probably the last time that I've really kind of in the past I had done some, hey, I want to lose weight, and I'd spend 6 months or so lose weight, and then I'll come right back. Um, but yeah, back in 2018, just decided to kick my ass in gear and lost over 100 pounds, and now I'm just kind of helping others do the same. Lose and gain. There are people that I have helped that need to gain weight. That is their goal, so I help them with that. But I figure for this chat, what's going to make the most sense is just most people, when they want to get into health and fitness, are looking to lose weight. So I figured, hey, we'll touch on that as the primary goal. And then, if you want to gain weight or something like that, I can do a whole nother chat on that if that's something people are interested in. When I say gain weight, it can be multiple aspects. It could be maybe they just need to gain weight because they're super small. Maybe it means they want to gain muscle. That's gaining weight. Muscle is more dense than fat. So, but yeah. So that was a little bit about my background. Um, these chats are going to be much more of a Q&A. So I don't have anyone that's really posted any questions yet. Most people, I think their biggest question, and the question I get the most often, is where do I start, right? That's the hardest one, and then it's kind of there's additional questions built onto that. So where to start, right? I look at it as there's 3 avenues of where to start. Avenue number 1, the first thing is diet. No matter how hard you work out, no matter what you do, you cannot outwork a bad diet. And when I say diet, that can take a lot of different forms. So most people hear diet, they think of, salads and chicken and rice, and that's it, right? And granted, I mean, I do occasionally eat salads. I do eat a lot of chicken and rice. That's more of a value aspect than anything else. But diets can take on a variety of different approaches. I mean, you have keto, you have caveman, you have Atkins, you have no carb, low carb, vegan, what have you, right? So there's different approaches you can take with a diet. Rule of thumb, and again, I'm speaking in generalization here, there is going to be specific situations for specific people, but generalization, again, losing weight. Calories in has to be less than calories out. At the end of the day, that's the key one, and then the other aspects of a diet you can play around with what works for you. Within reason, there's some tips and tricks I can give on that side, but again, that's part number 1 of where to start. Part number 2, increased movement, and increased movement can be anything. It can be going for a walk in the yard for 30 minutes every day. It can be, I'm gonna, maybe work isn't that far away. I'm going to walk to work or bike to work or something like that. Or even if it's just, hey, I'm going to go take the dog for an extra walk every night or something, right? Just that little extra movement is going to pay dividends down the road. Now, granted, if you're someone that's a couch potato that needs to lose 80 pounds and all you do is get up and go for an extra 30-minute walk every day, you're not going to lose 80 pounds in, 4 months or something like that. Sorry, it's just not going to happen. You need time, but you are already doing more than most other people are, so you're already in a better spot to increase that process, right? And maybe you're someone that's plateaued. Maybe you are going to the gym or doing walks every day or something like that. And I can I'll probably do another chat where I just kind of dive completely into movement and exercise and stuff like that. But if it's a situation like that, maybe you just need to change up what you're doing every day for your movement. Most of the people like myself who are in the fitness industry that, we go to the gym or we work out 5-6 times a week, we rotate what we're doing every couple weeks to every couple months, I should say. Usually it's about I usually don't go more than 12 months before I rotate stuff out in exercises of what I'm doing, because your body will become used to it and it becomes stagnant, and you need to change it up to kind of shock your body to keep that process going. So that's part number 2. Part number 3 is mindset. You're going to have a strong mindset into when you get started. And that's probably one of the most challenging parts, because mindset plays into the movement aspect and it plays into the diet aspect, right? Especially if you're someone like myself who has a horrible food addiction. I'm constantly being challenged of like, hey, you can have that extra snack, or you can have that extra little this or that. And you have to have the mindset of like, no, I have a goal. I'm on a process. Like, as much as I want that right now, I have to want this more. So mindset's going to play a big factor, and it's probably going to be something that you're dealing with the entire time. But I will say this in the beginning, like day one, yeah, you're all hyped up. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to eat well. And it's like, yeah, I did awesome. But by day like 3 or 4 of doing that, you're like, okay, this sucks. Like, I'm pretty tired of this. So that's the biggest struggle. Um, and then I will say this, it does get easier between about like day 3 or 4 to about day like 21 to 23. So if you can stick to that aspect, you're probably gonna be fine. That's probably the biggest struggle when it comes to just starting off fitness journey, because you have to really build it into being a lifestyle change, not just oh, I'm gonna go on a 6 month diet, lose some weight, and then yeah, I can go back to doing what I was doing before. I mean, if you're only trying to lose weight or something like that for maybe a picture day or a wedding or something like that, and then you're fine with going back to how you are now, yeah, then that works. But most people aren't. Most people they want to stick to where they're at. Um, and it is much easier to maintain than it is to lose or gain. So that's part number 3 of where to start. And I can dive into more nuanced details and stuff like that as people add questions. And again, everyone's going to be a little bit different. Um, you know, uh, again, it kind of comes into mindset. I feel a lot of people are like, oh, no, I want to pull an excuse of like, oh, I have this, so I can't do it. It's like, can you not do it or is it uncomfortable? Because there's a difference between not being able to do something and uncomfort. Um, you really kind of have to, especially when you're kickstarting one of these journeys, find comfort and discomfort because it'll pay off dividends again in the long run. But I can go a whole another chat about that. Um, at what age can I no longer eat trash? Pizza. Guy that kind of. At what age can you no longer eat trash? So that's a good one. It's gonna depend on your metabolism, and even then, I will never say that people can't eat trash because when I say diet, and I hate, I shouldn't say I hate this, but one of the things I've run into when coaching new people is I tell people you can still have what's commonly called in the industry a cheat meal, right? And that could be your pizza or your cookies or your ramen. The difference is you just have to be have it in moderation. Um, and most people they will like when I build a diet plan for someone, I will throw in a cheat meal for them, but I do it on a contingent aspect of like, okay, you can have a cheat meal or a cheat day, but I want you to heavily track that cheat meal and cheat day because if it's something where it's like, okay, you know, maybe I had a breakfast sandwich in the morning. Well, typically I wouldn't do a breakfast sandwich in as a on a diet plan, but if it's something where you did like a very lean breakfast sandwich, okay, I'm willing to kind of let that slide a little bit more other than like, oh, I had 2 waffles with a cheeseburger in the middle and soaked in syrup. It's like, okay, well that's a little bit different. Um and everyone's body too is going to be different when it comes to metabolism. I mean, my metabolism slowed down in my 20s. And probably mid to late 20s, I really noticed my metabolism take a nosedive. And then I have other friends that they just ate garbage all the time, barely ever worked out, and they stayed lean as a thumbtack until they hit like 32, and then it was just, and then it, like I thought my metabolism sank. There's like Japanese dive bomber on like Pearl Harbor into the ground. It was it was bad. So everyone's body is gonna be a little bit different, but you can still eat trash. It's just in moderation. That's all. Um, But I guess the last part, kind of where I had this chat planned, I know I wasted 15 minutes at the beginning trying to figure out how to connect my YouTube to StreamYard. So apologies for anyone watching in the future that watches this far along. Um, I might put a disclaimer in and try to edit the video or something like that. We'll see. But last kind of part I wanted to touch upon in this chat here is fitness versus health. Um, because a lot of people, they say, Is a slow metabolism a plus during SHTF? That's a good question. So I would say during SHTF, yeah, probably, but it depends on what you're looking to do. I would say 90% of the time, yes. A slow metabolism is going to be better during SHTF. The problem with a slow metabolism is it, it can have longer and health effects on you. And everyone's metabolism slows down as they get older. It's just part of life. It happens. Um, but I mean, it depends what you're doing too. Like if you're heavy, like if you need to do something that's high energy impact during SHTF, where you're going to need to burn that energy, you want a faster metabolism just because you're going to be able to fuel your body and do that whatever that critical task is a lot quicker than someone with a slower metabolism who's going to be more lethargic and kind of just grudge along. But most of the time, if you're just trying for survival aspects of like, hey, I can eat a bunch of food and this is going to keep me alive longer and I'm not going to get hungry as quickly, yeah, then absolutely. But I also know people with fast metabolisms that never really got hungry that quick. They just burn through energy like crazy. Um, so it's going to depend on the person. I know people with super slow metabolisms that are always hungry also. So, but it's kind of a mindset aspect. But that SHTF does kind of play into the fitness versus health aspect a little bit. I mean, there's more aspects to this, you know, definition of the two words. So a lot of people, they say like, hey, I just want to get healthy. I don't want to get fit. Completely understand. And, you know, most people when they say fit, they think of like bodybuilders or Zach, whatever the hell his name is, the guy from like Neighbors and stuff like that, that's like 8-pack abs, things like that. They think of like models, things like that. When I say fitness, I mean from a standpoint of being able to be the best specimen of yourself that you can be. I understand not everyone's looking to put on like 6-pack abs and be Mr. Bodybuilder. But the more fit you are, the more healthy typically you're going to be. Now, yes, there are outlier aspects of like, you know, if you're doing a lot of weightlifting, stuff like that, it can, if you're not doing it properly, especially, you know, knees, joints, things like that down the line. Um, but fitness kind of leads into health. I mean, perfect example. You look at this past pandemic. I got to be careful what I say because this is linked to YouTube. So, pack or go for broke trying. That's pretty much it. There's a there's a guy that used to be at my old gym that every time you're doing a workout, he's like, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. It's like, all right, buddy. It's like, well, yeah, I might be cheating, but I'm probably gonna end up hurting myself. Um, but where I was getting at with the whole pandemic aspect. So look at people during the pandemic, right? And we saw reports commonly come out that people that were overweight, less healthy, were more prone to getting sick. Those that were fit tended to be considered more healthy, not always, but tended to have a lower chance of catching said thingamajiggy, YouTube friendly word. Um, so, I mean, who knows? Need something because as people get older, joints go to hell. So we'll see. I mean, that is one of the great aspects of science. I know a lot of people can't stand science, and science has caused plenty of issues in the past, but it's also done some miraculous things that definitely has expanded our lives, and our quality of life as well. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of where I define my definition between fitness and healthy is if you're fit, you are healthy. And again, it's going to be not everyone necessarily needs to be optimal physique looking, and that's not the goal for everybody. Um, but if that's something that you're aiming towards, guarantee you'll probably be more healthy. Um, and then there are just aspects of, you know, benefits of eating cleaner, eating better, getting extra movement in every day, whether it be just from, you know, look at all the studies, and I can do a whole nother chat on this, like the brain health, heart health, all that good stuff. So, um, yeah, that's kind of the three topics I wanted to hit on this chat. As I said, I figured this chat was probably going to be shorter end just because not as many people, and I appreciate everyone that has shown up. I know I didn't, kind of let people know on any of the other chats I was going to be doing this, and I briefly threw it up on Discord in one of the Discord areas, so that not necessarily a ton of people go to. Um, but I wanted to, again, throw this chat out here as a kind of qualifier chat, also to figure out how to use StreamYard properly, and then let people come in, add questions, and I can build upon these chats with this. And not all these chats, just like I said in my little test run that I did before, which clearly did no good because look at this chat. But as I said, my test run video from a couple days ago, these chats aren't going to always just be health and fitness. Sometimes they are going to be whatever people want to talk about. People want to talk about SHTF. They want to talk about firearms. If they want to talk about vehicles. If they want to talk about geek stuff, whatever. Just let me know. You know, I enjoy being able to sit here, especially now where all my uh, followers, I think they're on YouTube, is at a lower level. I can actually read the chat and kind of respond to people as they come through. As obviously, hopefully, my viewer base grows, I may have to pull like a Matt and rely more on super chats and stuff like that. But as of right now, at least I can interact with everyone that's throwing in comments or questions. So, um, yeah, I guess what I would leave this chat as, because I'm probably going to wrap it up here in the next couple minutes. Comment down below, what types of questions you have, if there's anything you want me to elaborate on, what you would want to see in the next chat, whether it be health and fitness related or something else, like let me know. And then if there's more those personal one-on-one questions that you don't feel that comfortable, throwing into an open forum like this, reach out to me individually. I should have my email, or I'm going to link my email to this chat. So you can reach out to me there, Discord, whatever you want. Happy to answer. But there's not going to be any other questions. I guess we'll just call this one and hopefully schedule the next one for sometime next week. And let me know too, guys, in the comments, like, does this time work for people? Would you rather do a Thursday chat, Friday chat? Maybe Fridays are, I can probably do most Fridays, but I'm not going to guarantee Fridays just because sometimes I travel on Friday. But yeah, just let me know so I can adjust and all that good stuff. But anyways, guys, I think, can we get a Dad Bod Navy SEAL guest host? Do we know a Navy SEAL that has a dad bod? I don't know any Navy SEALs that I can think of. Yeah, I don't know any. But if you have a suggestion for one, I can reach out and see if they want to get so. And there, to that point, for future chats, as I play around with this and start to get used to how I kind of want to run these and stuff, I will have people come on to guest host and things like that. I'm still just trying to figure out StreamYard and how to post and what that's all going to look like and how much work I got to throw into stuff, and trying to refine the process here. So these videos these chats and videos will get better as I refine the process, and then I can bring more people on and all that good shit. So anyways, guys, though, think I'm going to call it. Comment down below all your good stuff, and I appreciate everyone that showed up. Hope to see you all in the next one, and deuces.